You're listening to the Biddy Tarot podcast, and this is episode 54, 3 ways to connect with your ideal tarot reading client.
Welcome to the Biddy Tarot podcast, where you'll learn how to connect more deeply with your intuition and live an empowered and enlightened life with the tarot cards as your guide. Listen as Bridget and her guests share their very best tips and strategies to help you read tarot with confidence. And now, here's your host, Bridget Esselmont.
Hello and welcome back to the Biddy Tarot podcast. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to be talking with you about tarot and, well, today, business. So let's say you're a tarot reader and you'd love to read tarot for everyone, right? Well, that's great, but I do have one question for you. How exactly are you going to reach everyone? You see, it takes time, it takes money, and it takes energy to find just one tarot reading client, let alone everyone. And more importantly, do you really want to read tarot for everyone? I mean, do you really want to read tarot for that lady who says she's interested in a reading, but she doesn't actually believe in all that airy-fairy mumbo-jumbo? Or that young guy who just wants to know if he's going to hook up over the weekend? I didn't think so. That's why knowing your ideal tarot reading client is so important. It saves you time, money, and energy finding clients. And it ensures that you're working with the right client and not just any client, doing your absolute best work within your zone of genius. So, how do you figure out who your ideal client really is? Well, that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can connect with your ideal tarot reading client. Now, if you're listening to this and going, Bridget, I don't have clients. I'm not a professional tarot reader just yet. I actually recommend listening to this episode as well, because it's not just for paying clients that this is important, but even just friends and family. Having an idea of who your ideal client is and how you can best serve them will help you decide when it's a good idea to read for somebody and when it's not. I mean, I'm sure you've probably had a friend where you've gone like, I just don't feel like this is quite the right fit. They have different expectations and so on. But you go ahead and you do the reading anyway, and then you think, that did not feel good. So whilst I'm talking about ideal tarot reading clients, which implies the paid clients, this can also apply to really anyone that you read tarot with, and getting clear about who it is that you can serve the best and, who you really gel with when reading tarot. All right, so let's dive into these 3 ways. The first way is to have a conversation with your favorite clients. So I want you to think about 3 clients you've absolutely loved working with. Maybe they're super loyal clients who've been seeking tarot readings with you for years, or maybe they're clients who totally energize you when you're working with them. Maybe they're even your highest value clients, like the people who've spent the most money with you. So select those 3 dream clients right now and write down why you picked them. What makes them so amazing to work with? What do you know about their demographics, like their age, their gender, occupation, where they live, and so on? And what do you know about their beliefs, their values, and their mindsets? Are there some common themes or elements across these 3 superstar clients? Really get into who they are as people. What are their stories, and what are those common threads between all 3? Now, here comes the fun bit. What I also want you to do is set up a time to have, a 15, 30-minute conversation with each of these 3 clients. You might shout them a coffee or a glass of wine if they're in your local area, or maybe just jump on Skype or the phone with them. Maybe you could offer them a quick reading as a way of saying thank you. Now, the whole idea of this conversation is to get to know your ideal client. Really find out, what are their hopes and dreams? What are their biggest challenges in their life? And, why did they choose to work with you and not somebody else? And how can you continue to support them? You really want to open up this conversation and just get to know them. Get to find out what makes them tick, and, where does tarot come into their life, and how are they using tarot to help support them make, good decisions or navigate their challenges, or, manifest their dreams and so on. So when you're having these conversations, make sure you take lots and lots of notes, or better yet, ask for permission to record the conversation. And that way you're going to start to build up a really rich profile of your ideal client. You'll get an idea of their demographics, but also how they think, what their biggest problems are, and how you can best serve them. And for bonus points, you can probably also discover what are their leverage points for having a reading with you. What's that sort of decision that happens that says, I need to go and have a reading with this person. So, maybe you can ask one of your clients, like, okay, you remember the last reading that we had? What was it that made you go, yeah, I've got to have this reading? So what was that thing just before they clicked the buy now button or picked up the phone to have a reading with you? Because then that's an awesome leverage point that you can then use with, future prospective clients as well. And, the best thing out of all of this is if these are really your dream clients, they're going to just love having this opportunity to chat with you outside of a formal tarot reading. And, I think they're going to really appreciate that you care about them and you want to get to know them more. So think of it also as a way of building up that loyalty and creating connections with your clients. Now, of course, don't treat it as a one-off. Do this every 6 months, every 12 months, whatever it might be, just to stay connected with who is this person that you do really great work with, and how can you continue supporting them. Okay, so here's the second way for connecting with your ideal tarot reading clients. Run a survey with your tribe. So if you've got a larger tribe and you want to understand the common themes amongst this group quickly and easily, then a survey can be a great way to do it. So for example, you might have, a couple of hundred people on your email list, or even better, a couple of thousand, but I know where you're starting, and it's, a couple of hundred's a good place to start. Or you might even have, a couple of hundred people on your Facebook page, whatever it might be. As long as you've got a good sort of group of people who support you and love your work and are gathering around you, it's great to reach out to them and ask for their ideas and their thoughts. So here's exactly what you can do. You can create a survey and, just use something like Google Surveys, really simple to use, and it's free and you get all of the data. It's really easy to download. And then ask your community a series of questions about themselves. So similar to what you might ask if you're having a one-on-one conversation, but with some more quantitative responses. So for example, it might be like, what keeps you up at night? And then you could check box, relationships, work, finance, personal development, whatever it might be, choose a few things and then they can select them. You can also have a few general free text questions like, in what kinds of situations do you turn to the tarot cards for insight? Or if we're on the phone together, what would be the number one question you would ask me? Or maybe even, what is that thing that would, help you decide that you want to have a reading? When you last had a reading, how did you know you needed that reading? Can be very interesting. You might also want to get into some of those demographic questions as well. And, what impact does tarot have in your life? Just really get into understanding who they are and how they see the world. Now, if you've already got an idea of your ideal client types, you can actually ask your tribe to self-select which type they most identify with. So for example, at Biddy Tarot, we have 3 main categories. We've got tarot beginners, we've got aspiring readers who are actively reading tarot and learning, and then we have professional tarot readers. And when we're doing surveys, we're often asking folks to self-select into one of those 3 categories. And that way we can then split up the results and understand, okay, what's special about our tarot beginners and what's really on their mind? What's special about our tarot professionals, for example? So do that with your audience if you've got a good idea of your different audience segments, and you'll get some even more rich data that you can then work with and use to attract the right people into your space. All right, so now let's move on to our final way to connect with your ideal tarot reading clients. And this is perhaps a little bit more out there, but I know you guys. I know that this will just be like, oh yeah, that's easy. That's fun. And here it is. So connect energetically with your ideal client. So this one is very powerful and works incredibly well for tarot readers in particular, thanks to our honed intuition. So here's what you can do. Just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and take a moment to notice how relaxed and at peace you feel. Now, imagine a time when you were working in your zone of genius with a client. Perhaps you were doing a tarot reading or even teaching tarot or something completely different. That time when you felt like, wow, I'm giving so much value here, and maybe this is like really changing this person's life. Just picture that time and take note of what makes this situation really special and unique. What are you creating with the client? What's happening here? What energy do you feel? Just breathe in that scene as you're doing this reading, perhaps for your favorite client, to see what's happening. And then think about, what do you know about this person? Who are they? How old are they? What do they do for work? Are they wealthy, or do they just have enough to get by? What else do you know about them? And now think about that specific person you're working with. Look into their eyes and feel your heart connect deeply with their heart. Connect with their energy and their inner essence. What do they believe about the world? What's important to them? What are their goals and their aspirations? What do they struggle with? What do they fear? And why have they come to you? How can you best help and support them? And what makes them different to every other person you've worked with? Wonderful. Now, just say thank you to this person for sharing their energy with you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now, of course, I've gone a little bit fast through that one, but you might want to do it in your own time and really just take time to truly experience what it feels like to have that ideal client sitting across from you, and to take in that scene, but also to take in their energy and connect with them energetically and intuitively. They might not be like a specific, real person, but there's someone in front of you as you're sitting there reading the tarot cards and feeling amazing about it. Just drink it in and just see what comes to you, particularly on an intuitive level. Remember, you're a highly intuitive person, so I know that you can do this. So write down everything that you've learned about your ideal client during this visualization. And think about what new information has come to you. You've worked through, if you've done the first and the second way, you've certainly looked at things at a more rational level, and that's good. But this is your opportunity to get more into the intuitive space and to dive deep into your subconscious and see what comes up that way. And this is often where the most powerful insights come. I actually lead the Grow Your Tarot Business online students through this meditation. And it's just amazing to see what new information that they get from it. And, just even that act of visualizing your ideal client sitting there right in front of you can be incredibly powerful. You're creating that space for that to really come into fruition and, become real for you. Wonderful. Okay, so I've gone through the 3 ways. And to recap, that is, have a conversation with your favorite clients, run a survey with your tribe, and connect energetically with your ideal client. So now you know who your ideal client is. Now what do you do? Well, it's time to integrate that new knowledge into your website, your marketing materials, your blog posts, your newsletter, your social media updates, and so on. Really speak to the heart of your ideal client through your various platforms and engage with them on an authentic level. So go where your client or your ideal clients hang out and really be useful, because you already now know what they need and where you can step in and support them. So go out and be really, really useful. And make strategic choices about where you spend your time and who you choose to connect with. If you know that you can help women going through relationship struggles, don't go and spend your time over in a Facebook group that's full of, maybe young men who are interested in cars or what have you. Think about how am I going to spend my time in those places where my ideal clients are? And at the end of the day, if you're trying to reach everyone, I want you to remember that you'll end up engaging with no one. But if you reach out to the people who value your services and with whom you do your best work, that's how you'll create magic. Awesome. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today. It's my absolute pleasure, as always, to be talking about tarot and business. And if you want to find out how to start growing your tarot business online, then I invite you to watch my free business videos. You'll find them over at biddytarot.com/tarot-business-videos. And we'll make sure that it's also in the show notes at biddytarot.com/54. Now, as part of these free videos, you'll learn why having an online presence is essential to boosting your business success. 3 simple steps to kickstart your tarot business online today. The 6 pillars to building a spiritually and financially abundant business online. And you're going to discover how you can grow your tarot business online with my signature training program, Grow Your Tarot Business Online. Awesome. So you can catch that over at biddytarot.com/tarot-business-videos. Or go to biddytarot.com/54 and you'll get all of the links inside of there. Awesome. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. And now you've got some really fun activities to do to find your ideal clients. I hope that you can truly create magic with them and really enjoy reading tarot for the people that you can help the most. All right. Bye for now.